Well, thank you for joining us. Yellow Dog Software is a recent integration that we have here at Gatemaster, and we're going to turn the time over to Jay. Thanks for joining us. Go ahead, Jay.
Great. Well, thank you, everyone. Let's see. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and let's make sure that you guys are able to see it. Okay.
We see you now.
All right. Excellent. Excellent. Well, again, thank you, Brandy. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to present in today's user session. We're very excited about the integration to Gatemaster, and we're looking forward to working with lots of your clients. Really what I wanted to do today is to walk everybody through what we do and then show you a few examples of the software itself. So with further ado, let me step through this. So from who to reach out to, my name is Jay Livingood. I'm the president and founder of Yellow Dog Software. And my sales team consists of Brian Sudol, who's my director of sales, Joe Banbury, who's our sales executive, and Jeremy, who's our marketing manager. And collectively, we've got a very simple way to reach us, which is just sales@yellowdogsoftware.com from an email. A little bit about the company. We're based in Norfolk, Virginia. We're installed in over 500 properties, over 1,500 stores or outlets within those properties. The company's privately owned. I own it. And we operate it as zero debt, which gives us a lot of flexibility to kind of service our clients how we see fit. And if somebody asks, who is Yellow Dog Software, I'd say we're a software company. We do one product, which is inventory management, and we focus on the hospitality market. And we can manage three primary types of inventory, whether it's food and beverage, retail, or kind of non-point of sale, more warehouse or other assets that you would have. So what I'm going to do is just kind of step through each of those and talk about what we can do. So from a food and beverage perspective, what we do is we pull the sales information from the Gatemaster system, and then we can process that data in Yellow Dog to capture the sales data, but more importantly, go ahead and deduct inventory as well. You know, kind of the core features in the food and beverage set would be certainly creating and managing all of the items that you have. If you would like, there's also an optional recipe management capability, and it's a full-featured recipe system with full explosion and sub-recipes. We can certainly track the waste that occurs in any given day or outlet. We have a complete physical inventory process for doing your weekend, month-end counts. We've got literally a couple hundred reports that detail how the business is operating. We've got specific cost of goods, and if you are using our recipe module, we can do actual costing versus theoretical. We have a little over 40 EDI integrations to different vendors. So certainly all the mainline vendors, the Cisco's, the US Foods, the PFGs, Pepsi, Coke. We have integrations where we're automatically downloading the invoices that are generated for your property, and we bring that directly into our inventory system to update inventory and update your costing information. We can also take both those electronic invoices or even manually input invoices and convert those into a format that can be pulled into your accounting system. So we can eliminate a duplicate entry of getting those invoices into your AP system. There's kind of two primary methods that you can choose when you're looking at food and beverage inventory. We certainly do have a full recipe ability, and with that, we can map anything that's sold in Gatemaster to a corresponding item or to a recipe. So if you sell a cheeseburger, we can certainly deduct the ingredients, or if you're managing inventory by, you know, a can of beer, we can have a kind of a one-for-one relationship. The other method, if you're not, you know, interested in actually diving into full recipe management, is we can do something which is just cost of goods sold reporting, which is we can retrieve all the sales data from Gatemaster, and then we can match that up. We can take all that's required is you have to do regular physicals, and by doing that, we'll know exactly what the usage is between those two physicals, along with updating your item cost information, along with tracking waste. to be able to give you that cost of goods sold percentage by all the major categories. So food, beer, wine, liquor, and then we can even detail that a little bit further if you'd like as well. Certainly, the inventory management, our food and beverage system, does give you the flexibility to define how you want to inventory product, how you want to buy that product, and then potentially how you actually consume that product in recipes. So the examples we have up on the screen might be, we inventory something by the bottle, we buy it by the case, but it's sold by the glass. We have all those relationships, and they can either be weighted relationships or volume relationships as well. So really we can, track to the inventory ingredient whatever you'd like. And again, if you do use recipes, they can also be the production recipes or dynamic. Production would be a product that you want to make, and as you make it, we're going to deduct the ingredients. And we can also do dynamic, that when it's sold through the Gatemaster point of sale, that's when we're going to go ahead and relieve inventory. We've got a very detailed physical inventory process, and we know in a lot of our food and beverage environments, the product that you're going to count is already in a production state. So you may need to count, 15 trays of something or 5 gallons of something. But from an inventory perspective, you need to bring that back down to its base ingredients. And our system can do that selectively by the different recipes that you've got. And lastly, given our ability in our one system to do both food and beverage inventory, but we also have retail inventory, we can produce items, reduce inventory, and even give you a way to produce kind of grab and go, barcoded price tags directly out of our system. So the examples on the right are just a couple of ones we set up in our demo system, but that may help out from a packaging perspective. Now the second type of inventory we do is retail integration. For our retail integration, these are two-way, and what occurs here is that within Yellow Dog, the item is created, and when that item is created, maybe you're ordering it for the first time, as soon as you create that item, our system knows what are new or changed items and will automatically push those into Gatemaster in an appropriate way. So they're fully formed and ready to be sold. And then the second part of it, just like we're doing in the food and beverages, we'll pull that sales activity and use that to update our reporting and reduce inventory. This can be scheduled on a frequency of your choosing. So if it's something that you're looking for every hour, several times a day, once a day, you've got the flexibility on that. Now, in a retail standpoint, purchasing takes a little bit more emphasis. Usually most of the items are started with a purchase order. Those items can be then received. They can be added to an invoice. If you have multiple stores or outlets, they could be maybe received into a warehouse or central receiving, and then they can be transferred out to the outlets as needed. There's even a return to vendors for product that needs to be issued back to them. The management of the item, a little bit more emphasis on barcode printing. Certainly manual adjustments are available, vendor management, restocking car levels for replenishment, and again, several hundred reports to detail how your operations are performing. There are numerous inventory types that you can manage within our solution. Certainly in retail, creating individual items you can do. We also have a very deep matrix ability. And a lot of people would like to do this, but it's often difficult and challenging. And we think we've made it very simple, where you can quickly create an item, indicate a size and color, and then our system can build out all those different components. Just like in food and beverage, you can use the parent-child to manage how you order product versus how you sell it versus how you inventory it. We can also even create service items within our system and push those in. So you can give you one consistent way to kind of create items in your retail environments. And just like food and beverage, we can create production kits and dynamic kits. So if you are interested in building maybe gift baskets in advance, you can do that. Or if it's something that when it's sold, you want to go ahead and deduct those items, we can handle that. We can even also pull any transaction and associate a retail inventory deduction to it. So if you're having a tag along or a giveaway, we can easily see what items are sold and then go ahead and set up a relationship to deduct inventory items every time we see that transaction type occur. And then the last area is what we call kind of warehouse asset or just simply non-point of sale inventory. So this would be anything else that has a value where inventory management is needed, but you need to be able to account for it as it's transferred from store to store or maybe from department to department. That could be office supplies, it could be some fixtures, equipment. You know, the core system does a good job of managing that type of activity. Now, some of the options that you could look at, so the core of Yellow Dog, if you do operate in any retail environments and you want to make your product available online, we integrate to 4 or 5 of the leading e-commerce systems, things like Shopify, which is a full two-way integration. We populate the item automatically up to the e-commerce site, complete with pictures and all the information, and we pull all the sales back. So an easy channel to add to your venue. For food and beverage, up at the top, we've got our food vendors. That would be our EDI, where we're downloading those invoices. And then to the left would be the accounting integration. I'm not sure how many accounting systems we've worked with. We've worked with everyone that we've tried. I think we're probably about 20 different accounting systems that we're posting invoices up to. Just to give you a visual on the vendors, you know, for example, this EDI integration, you may get an invoice from Cisco that would look something like this. We're going to electronically process that data for you, put it into an invoice. Some of our clients actually allow that to be committed automatically. Some clients still want to go ahead and confirm it, but you don't have to key in any of that data. And then with an accounting integration, we can send that information directly into or present it to your accounting system to eliminate rekeying of that invoice as well. A big part of our system, whether you're food and beverage or retail, is physical inventories. We've got a number of offerings. We're actually just launching our mobile suite that is both iOS and Android supported. We also have our older Windows platforms, but we offer that in a variety of devices, whether they're devices with barcoding built into it, or if you want to pair an optional scanner, we can do that. And of course, the base software certainly gives you the ability to, you know, print out physical count sheets if that's your preferred way of counting your product. We can print any type of barcoding that you would like. So we've got some examples up here on the screen. So if you're looking for any type of retail labeling, we can certainly produce that, whether it's sticky tags or it's paper hang tags that you affix to products, or maybe even shelf tags in certain environments. That could be used not only for retail transactions, but also for your storage. So if you want to label product to expedite your physical inventories, our system can produce barcodes, and those barcodes can be automatically generated from our system. Even if you don't have product that have barcodes, we can generate numbers and then print out barcodes for you to use. There's also full 8.5 by 11 sheets, if you will, 100% customizable. So if you need to create catalogs or list or anything that would help you manage your inventory better, that can be produced directly from the system. Deployment, we can certainly host the solution and deliver it to you, so there's no server requirement on site. If you do have that and would like to continue to utilize that, we can certainly deploy within your environment. And configuration, Yellow Dog's a multi-store, multi-outlet configuration. So, and it's very scalable. We've kind of designed the pricing so that if you have one store, it's, you know, very affordable. If you've got a larger operation that has, you know, 3, 4, 10 stores and warehouses, it scales up appropriately. So the pricing stays affordable whether you're, you know, a small inventory to a larger inventory operation. And just briefly, the types of businesses that utilize Yellow Dog, we're certainly in food and beverage outlets. We do a lot of resorts, a lot of hotels, gaming operations, obviously amusement, and family entertainment. Colleges and universities, we do a number of stadiums and some airport operations, number of breweries, some retail, which is really just entities that are combined retail and food and beverage in the same operation, and then a lot of hospital gift shops. Some of the names, these are obviously the more recognizable names, but folks like Paula Deen, Trump, Pinehurst, Keeneland Racetrack, University of Maryland, Bloomberg Boeing, Lint. Those are some of the clients that utilize us. Again, those are, larger brands, but, whether you're 1 or 10 stores, it doesn't matter to us. We've got a great solution that works really across the board. And certainly, parks, entertainment, amusement centers. We've got a number of zoos. The U.S. National Whitewater Center down in Charlotte utilizes us. And then certainly food and beverage operations. We've got quite a list of different food and beverage operations, whether it's an individual venue or a multi-location venue. So kind of to summarize it, why Yellow Dog software? We certainly think it's a great product. Our clients certainly feel that way as well. We've really tried to focus on delivering a depth of features that gives operations what they need, but at the same time keeping it easy to use. We know that if software is not fast and easy to use, it's difficult. And so we're trying to always make sure that even the most novice of computer users can utilize our system to get their jobs done. Big part of what we do when we implement is our team handles, if it's a retail environment, we typically, probably 99 times out of 100, convert all the data, all the existing retail, and bring it into the system. If it's food and beverage, what our baseline is that we'll certainly work to get all of your existing items from your vendors, if they can provide it electronically. And then also, if we are setting up recipes, we'll set up the first 200 recipes, because we know you guys are busy, and an inventory can be a big step, and we want to try to deliver it quickly so you can actually get to the result you want to, without delay. We're very committed to our clients. One of the things we do is we offer free training for life. When we do a project, it's not a quick, hurry up and let's go, let's get you done, and so we can get you billed and then not talk to you again. We do expect to talk to you for a long time, and by providing free training, that ensures that your team is always able to get the value and return you're expecting out of Yellow Dog. And certainly there's lots of other things we can talk about, our upgrades and support. Those are leading aspects of what we do and trying to take care of our customers. The different projects, just to give you an idea, if you said, how long will it take to install Yellow Dog and get it operational? If it's a retail inventory, routinely start to finish 30 days. We convert the data, we can get it connected, make sure we get your existing on-hand counts and get you trained and operational. Food and beverage, it's usually more than that, and oftentimes it's a little bit more difficult to get the data from all the different vendors, and maybe difficult to pull recipes together, but we'll certainly move as quickly as you and your vendors can. You won't wait on us for this. And if you guys are interested, we'd love to talk to you at a later point, walk through exactly what our approach is, what our methodology is, so you can understand, how we're going to deliver a successful project for you. So with that, I'm going to stop here for a second before we dive into the product. I'm not sure, Brandy, is this a good time for questions and answers, or should we step into the product? What do you think?
The only question that I saw was, what was your email address again?
It's sales@yellowdogsoftware.com.
Okay. Yeah, we might just give them a minute to put questions in. So if you want to proceed, that's just fine.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
All right, let me come out of here. Okay, I've got a, are you still able to see my screen okay?
Yes, we can still see you.
Okay, great. Well, what I'm going to do on this, I'm going to just touch on some of the high points, try to explain kind of the benefits of what we do, as opposed to getting down into some really specific examples. This is actually the client software of the Yellow Dog inventory system. So I'm logged in as somebody that can really see and do pretty much everything in the system. There is a high level of security, so that if you are looking for many different individuals to use the system, however, their roles and responsibilities may vary widely. You know, certainly if I log in as somebody that has maybe just a real limited access, this may be all I see. One option, and then really in terms of what I can do on this screen, really it's just kind of a view only. So think about that. If you have certain people that do receiving, certain people that do physical, certain people that might need to see reporting, you can restrict all of that. I mentioned earlier that our system is a multiple store, multiple outlet configuration. So in this example, I've got a number of stores set up. So these would be inventory locations for, you know, the restaurant outlet versus this bistro versus this bar versus the, maybe we've got a storage area for liquor. So use your imagination on that, and certainly product can be ordered and received and then transferred into and from any of these different outlets. Now the actual items themselves, if I just quickly look at it, we have quite a few views of the inventory. So depending on who you are and what you're looking for, we've defined a number of different views. So I may be trying to purchase product, I may be looking for manufacturer UPC code, I could be looking at product that's nearing expiration, or maybe across the entity, I want to look at all stores. Filtering is very easy. You can, go in, select different stores. You can certainly go in and decide what levels to look at. And these levels are 100% customized per client. So we build this structure to meet your operational needs. So this is just an example. And then certainly there's free-form kind of quick searches. You'll see that all throughout our system. So if I'm trying to find something easy, quick, I can just start typing and filter my results. In this case, we'll just take a quick look at this particular item, which is a 10-inch pesto wrap. And this, I've got, since we're in the food and beverage, I'm seeing kind of a food and beverage flow in view. So when I go into an inventory item, we're going to see things such as, how do we inventory it? And in this case, we're inventorying this by a bag. But then how do we order it? Well, we don't order it that way. We order it by a case size. And in that case, there are 24 bags in each case. And then the last one is, if we were using recipes, it'd be, well, what's the unit that we use in recipes? And in this one, we're going to say we're going to use an each, and there are 6 eaches in each bag of my pesto wrap. So it gives us the ability to kind of order it how we need, inventory it how we need, and also sell it in recipes as we need. And certainly, a big part of the food and beverage system is going to be bringing in product via the invoices that your vendors provide. And if your vendors support this EDI integration, this is where you're going to see this information brought in automatically. And so I already preformed this one where I've got a number of items that I've selected. I've got a number of accounts. And then I can ensure that the amount equals my total. And so we can do some reconciliation, say, yep, let's go ahead and bring this invoice in, let's commit it to our inventory and update our costing. And again, if we had an optional accounting interface, we could then export this invoice right to your QuickBooks system to eliminate you having to rekey that one. Certainly, there's a complete physical inventory process. I won't step through it. I'll just kind of talk about it a little bit. But it gives you the option of creating a physical to contain the items. Maybe if you're just doing a particular location, such as a walk-in or dry storage, you can certainly separate your physical into those areas, count those products, and then bring all that into one physical inventory to get to your on-hand amounts. And from a reporting standpoint, I won't walk through all the reports because there's too many. There's a couple hundred of them. We do have a really great report guide that has some drop downs and some quick filters. So if you're trying to find certain information, you can see every report that contains it with a few clicks. The reports all work very similar in that I can select a particular report. There are lots of options. For example, right now I'm just looking at an on-hand report. And our system is time and date sensitive. So I may run this on hand as of now, but if I wanted to, I could also go back and say, well, accounting just called and they need to see our, end of June inventory. So I can go back at any point in time and say, no problem, let me produce that for you. And this is going to generate this information as of basically midnight on the last day of the month. And the reporting is very flexible in that I can, start to drag and drop information around. And if I want to, I can then start to sort. And even if I wanted to, I could even group. And also, this is showing you all the different aspects of the report that you could turn on and off. So this report probably has 40 other columns that aren't currently turned on or turned off that we could manipulate. And it's great. Once you get a report that's the way you like, we always say go ahead and save it. And we're going to call this the Gatemaster on hand. And I can say okay, close it, and we have right below our report section saved reports. So I could go in, find that same report, hit execute, and it's going to bring up the same data in the same format that I saved it in. And included in our system is a utility where you can also go into any of these saved reports and have them emailed to you and either put into the email. It could be attached as a PDF or even attached as an Excel spreadsheet. So if you want to get kind of an automated email every day of all the orders received or at the end of the month of your on-hand, use your imagination, but you can have that data delivered to your team automatically, so no one has to remember to look at data or to generate data. They just have to look at their email to analyze their business. Something else that's very handy in the food and beverage side is item list. So if I was trying to create a list of certain things, I can go ahead, create a name, I can put items onto it, and then I can actually generate a printout of anything that I want to. Let's see, and then I can pick the particular template to use. Yeah, so here we go. So this is just an example. Everything on here, all the text, all the pictures, all the pricing, that's all coming directly from the Yellow Dog inventory system. Okay, I'm going to switch gears for 1 second, just pop over to retail, kind of explain some of the additions there. So it's the same software. We're just utilizing it a little bit differently for retail operations. It certainly has the same ability of I can come in and I can create an item. But in retail, we're typically going to come into a different view, such as this, which I have more of a retail presentation. Really just an item description, a retail price. Certainly can go look at what are the store setup? Is it available across all stores? How many does each store have on hand? Another option, if you do any type of sizing and color, I can create a matrix item. So instead of creating 16 items for the different 4 sizes and 4 colors I can create one profile. I can select all of these different defaults about what season, what material, what logo style, and then I can simply select what sizes do I carry it and what colors, and the system can then build all 16 of these items. And we give you a little bit of a different view if you want to look at kind of the details in a grid format. We can do that, looking on hands, look at what's on order. We can even show pictures and reorder amounts. Something else that's really nice, we have a lot of retail systems that do it, and sometimes in food and beverage we have something called auto transfers, which allows you to sell a product anywhere in your environment and deduct that inventory from a given store. So if you wanted to take a bunch of product from, say, your main gift shop and set up a one-day table to sell it, by a pool area, you could go ahead and do that, and our system would know, hey, anything that's rung up in the pool revenue center, if you will, go ahead and deduct that item quantity from the gift shop and even associate the sales with the gift shop. So it kind of gives you a really nice flexibility to sell product and move product around anywhere that you'd like to. The retail flow also does emphasize a little bit more of our purchasing section, where earlier I really talked about in food and beverage, what's mostly done is the invoice is entered for the product. But in a retail environment, that flow might be slightly different. The options are you could even have people create a request for what they would like to order. Those could then be turned into purchase orders, or maybe you just start by creating a purchase order. When the product arrives in retail, oftentimes you don't have the invoice, so you need to receive it and then reconcile it against an invoice when that comes in. And just like food and beverage, you may need to transfer a product from one outlet to the other, or even return product back to the vendor. Let's see, the other things, certainly, physicals are the same across both the systems, and the reporting is equally, it's the same reporting, so it's equally as in-depth. So I think those were kind of some of the high points that we wanted to talk about. Certainly would love to hear any questions that you guys have, and see if there's any scenarios that we need to walk you guys through. So I'll open up the floor for questions, if there are any.
So far, no. I'm double checking. Well, let's give it another minute just in case if anybody has any questions. But I'll go ahead and we always record these sessions, and we always email the video out afterwards. So if somebody wants to review this and has more questions later, you can always email Jay. Let's see. Okay, I don't think we're going to have any questions.
Okay. Well, certainly encourage any of your clients to reach out to us.
Yeah.
We're happy to provide a demo. We're happy to walk through specific scenarios. We've got some exciting inventory. Believe it or not, it's pretty exciting. So we've got some pretty exciting clients that are doing some interesting things, and we'd love to share them with your users.
Well, we appreciate you joining us, Jay, and this is an integration that we know many customers have been asking for specifically. So we'll definitely send them your way and get everybody helped out. So we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And if anybody has any questions, you can email me, you can email Jay, and we'll get you taken care of.